I'm going to go over Gibbons, Chapter 7. In fact, this chapter was so useful in our upcoming big assignment where we're evaluating the English language learner, especially for Stage 3 on how we can help them. So I really took from this specific chapter and used what I learned, the scaffolding in this chapter for listening. I like this chapter a lot because it also helps you determine how well a student is progressing in English. So first it talks about the two-way listening, which is planning for listening and teaching phrases such as, "Excuse me, I'd like to ask something," or "I'm sorry, I don't understand." And the reason that this particular area stood out to me is many students, especially EL learners, are nervous to say that they don't understand something to the teacher. So it's good practice to say, hey, it's okay that you can ask, and this is how you ask, because some of them don't even know how to ask. So then it talks about the listening scaffolds. And a lot of these just work for not only EL students, but any student in your classroom. So first are the map games, which is really similar to the activity we did in class, where we were given something, a picture, and we had to try to explain it to another student. I feel like that would be just a very fun activity for EL students to work together to practice English. Then the split diction, or fill in the blank, that's really effective in trying to learn new vocabulary words, or just listening and trying to fill in that word. It also helps learn the content. And then the dictoglass. I've actually never heard of this before, but I thought it was very interesting, where the teacher reads slow and the student listens, and the teacher reads fast and the students write down vocabulary, and then the students discuss the vocabulary in pairs and reconstruct the original text, then in groups of 4. And then eventually gets an accurate message, which I think is awesome because every student hears something differently when the teacher is going to read fast. So I think that's a great way for students to work together to almost learn English. And then it talks about the picture prompt, which is basically the same thing except for with an image. And then it talks about one-way listening. So if you are, ask questions. So the first one is if you are, which is ask questions and student writes the answers. And I know when I was getting tested I still remember this, when I was getting tested for an IEP, they actually had me do that. And me as a native English language learner, that was difficult. But it's great practice in learning the English language. And then the hands up, when you give students a set of questions based on the test. As you read the text, students will raise their hands when they hear the answers. That ensures that they're engaged, or at least catching on to a word that they understand. Then jazz, chants, and raps. Performance fun, focus on something is said. This is a fun way to learn another language, and also in general, there is so much you can learn from a song, such as Feliz Navidad. That's how I know Merry Christmas. So just understanding words and picking apart, you can learn a language, at least words and language. And then the minimal pair exercise, which is differentiating between pairs of words. So you give the students words such as 3, tree, bin, bean, bin, pin, cat, cap, all of those words, and then trying to distinguish between them or finding pairs that are similar. And then shadow reading, which gives students the opportunity to work on pronunciation. So basically, they will repeat right after you, so they can make sure they're pronouncing things correctly, which, like I said, all of these were very useful when I was writing Stage 3, because most of the students in the class that I observed barely spoke any language. And learning through these types of scaffolds, the listening scaffolds, I think is super effective for students who are just learning the English language. And that's it.